Good morning. My name is Lindsay Williams, and I'm based here at New Hampshire Sea Grant. I'm presenting a brief overview of our NERRS Science Collaborative funded project today on behalf of our project team, which also includes Julie Peterson of New Hampshire Sea Grant and UNH Cooperative Extension, Lynn Vaccaro of the Great Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve, Melissa Day from the University of New Hampshire, and Chris Ellis from the NOAA Office for Coastal Management. Our project is titled Bridging Human Dimensions Research and Practice to Address Water Quality Concerns in the Great Bay Watershed. As noted in our project title, we are focused on the Great Bay Watershed, which is home to a nationally significant estuary designated as such by both NOAA and the EPA. The watershed includes 52 municipalities, 42 of which are in New Hampshire and 10 in Maine, and draws on 7 different rivers that drain the watershed of over 1,000 square miles into the Gulf of Maine. There's a mix of size and capacity within these municipalities and varying levels of reliance on volunteer and community boards to make local land use decisions. Environmental indicators of estuarine health show continued mixed results, some improvements, some declining, and a need to further address water quality concerns in the region. We're also seeing demographic shifts that require a revisiting and in some cases rethinking of previous approaches to outreach and engagement. Among other things, this includes an increasing wealth gap, housing challenges, and a rapidly diversifying population under the age 18. As in other places, the way people consume media and the news and social networks that shape norms has also changed dramatically, making it more difficult to reach a broad audience with a single outreach or education campaign. In order to improve environmental conditions in the watershed, outreach and engagement efforts need to affect the human behaviors, policies, practices, and where possible, attitudes. In order to impact this human behavior element, outreach and engagement practitioners need to then understand more about what drives, motivates, and affects humans. Taken together, these drivers demonstrate a need to build a social science literacy and a strong applied social science and human dimensions network to support these efforts to ensure that outreach and engagement approaches are being built on various existing evidence bases and are adapting and evolving to meet the needs of a changing population. Our project is a 1-year National Estuarine Research Reserve Science Collaborative science transfer project under the water quality focus area. We recognize that this is a huge topic and we're only digging into a small piece to get started, with one goal that becomes fodder for future work together. As I mentioned in our overview, one of our main drivers for action is that in order to improve the environmental conditions in the watershed, outreach and engagement efforts need to affect human behaviors, policies, practices, and where possible, attitudes. Although there have been a number of local social science studies that could inform new and existing community education programs in our Great Bay watershed, outreach practitioners have asked for help finding, interpreting, and applying this research. To help address this management need, the project team is focused on gathering, categorizing, and summarizing available relevant human dimensions and social science research in the region, hosting a series of interactive peer learning sessions with end users from the research and outreach community, and invited researchers and practitioners to discuss specific practical applications of the research, and 3, sharing project outcomes through various materials and a final workshop where we'll seek to bring together the larger community. The collaborative process and products are designed to increase access to locally relevant human dimensions research, facilitate communication between social science researchers and outreach practitioners, generate new actionable insights about existing research, and lay the foundation for co-developed social science studies in the watershed in the future. So far in our project, we've held a kickoff workshop that included practitioners, which are our focused end users that are working in outreach, engagement, technical assistance in the watershed. That workshop was held back in January 2024. We've also been working on a draft inventory of existing relevant research that we can use to inform various aspects of the project. We've also completed 2 of our 5 peer learning circle sessions. These are spaces where researchers and practitioners can come together to learn from each other, the different experiences, both from a research and practical perspective that folks have had. Our first session in May was focused on conceptual frameworks for motivating behavior change, and in June focused on documenting public opinion to guide programs and influence policy. Our upcoming steps include 3 additional peer learning circles to be held in July, August, and September. Our third one focused on understanding and building loyalty among visitors and volunteers. 4th, on conservation psychology and its connection to communications. And 5th, thinking about drivers of local policy change and the role of technical assistance. We'll continue to work on session summary products from each of the learning circles and developing other shared resources that will be made available both to project participants, our end users, again, the practitioners that are focused on outreach and engagement, technical assistance within the watershed, as well as with our research community. Those will also be made available to the broader public. Our final workshop coming up in the fall will be a chance for everybody to come back together and think about lessons from the overall project and where the group would like to go in the future. I'd like to thank our project team, our partners that have been so supportive of the work so far, to the NERRS Science Collaborative for the support to make this project a reality, and thank you for your time today learning a little bit more about our project. Thank you.